every year of the 30th April, the glorious past of Sri Kailasa, Supreme Fount of Hinduism, its continuous hard work and the enriching activities happen across the globe to build the Sri Kailasa across the globe. So the first year is 30th April of 2004. On this day, Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted a satsang in the city of Coimbatore. Later that day, the Paramavatar of Paramashiva, the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, was welcomed by the Kailasa in the Coimbatore Sangha and visited some of his devotees, blessing their house and grazing them with his healing experience. Here you can see the picture from 2004. A Supreme Fount of Hinduism is conducting the live satsang for the devotees in the city of Coimbatore in Tamil Nadu, India. And in the evening, the Supreme Fount of Hinduism is received by many devotees in their house and he graced them his healing experience. Moving on to the next year, 2006, on this day, Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted the second day of the Dhyana Spurna convention that took place in the 30th April at Seattle, Washington, USA. In the convention, Supreme Fount of Hinduism initiated the delegates on various authenticated aspects as the Pramana, Atma Pramana, Atma Pramana, and Shakti Pramanas, meditation techniques, and compassionately answered all their questions. Since the very first day, the Paramavatar of Paramashiva, the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, undertook his mission. He toured around the globe many times, establishing adinams and centers in various cities worldwide, successfully building the foundation for Kailasa nation. The Supreme Fount of Hinduism has been constantly working towards uniting all the nations and serving the world with the wisdom of science of enlightenment, which is the master key in solving various problems with the world which is facing now. So moving on to the next year, 2019, on this day, Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, continued his discourses on speaking about the Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Supreme Fount of Hinduism began by discussing the formula given by Patanjali, which is a faith, effort, and the time, and explained of the importance of connection with the inner world, how the faith, effort, and the time is how it is that had a connection with the inner world. Supreme Fount of Hinduism also shared that if this formula gets applied in our inner world, we can achieve an inner enlightenment. If it is applied in the outer world, we can become a great contribution to the humanity. Supreme Fount of Hinduism additionally shared how we can have the deepest fulfillment and not be driven by the fear or greed. And now we're going to watch a glimpse of the formula which is given by the Paramavatar of Paramashiva, the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, to experience the inner enlightenment and become a great contribution to the humanity.
When Patanjali uses the word virya, he is not saying, he is not giving you the idea of fighting with others, not that virya, not that courage, not that strength. Ability to stand with your mind, ability to stand in your inner space. That is what he calls virya, effort. Again and again and again, trying to come back to the deepest space of your being, that silence. Unclutch and come back to the silence. If your mind runs away, some thoughts come. Again, unclutch and come back to the silence. Every time you unclutch, it is equal to killing one elephant. If you also kill 10,000 times your thoughts, you are worthy of Dharani, you will become Dakshinamurti. You will radiate the same presence. Understand? Every time you unclutch from a thought and come back to the silence, you have killed one elephant. So decide you will kill at least 10,000 elephant. Means 10,000 thoughts, not the elephant, 10,000 thoughts. 10,000 thoughts, unclutch and come back to the inner space. You are worthy of Dharani. That is what Patanjali calls here Virya. The third word, Smriti. This third idea, fourth idea, fifth idea, Smriti, Samadhi, Prajna. All three are very closely interconnected. We may not be able to understand all the three ideas today itself, but I will be continuously speaking on all these few ideas in the next discourses. If you find time, you can see the remaining things in YouTube. Everything is posted in YouTube. Just next day, it comes in live streaming, then YouTube. It is time. We conclude with these two understanding. Not only time, if you have more ideas, you miss, you don't internalize. So I always take care that I express only 2 or 3 ideas very clearly, very strongly, so that you can internalize. It just sits on your inner space. If I go on speaking so many ideas, what will happen? End of the discourse, people come to me and tell, Swamiji, you spoke great, so many wonderful things. I ask them, come on, tell me what I spoke. No, that you don't ask. But you spoke well. No. Understand? I do not want to add more and more ideas. I want you to internalize, digest these few ideas. These 2 ideas, faith and effort. One good thing with talking few ideas is people internalize. One bad thing, the continuity get lost because I have to go to some other city. But that is okay. Always things will have some good, or we have to compromise. Internalize these 2 ideas today. Shraddha and Virya, having feeling connection to the spiritual truths. Virya, the courage to stand, live those spiritual truths. Internalize these 2 ideas. You will see you are living enlightenment. Living enlightenment. Understand? Many times, people come and ask me, Swamiji, why don't you bless me for this? Why don't you bless me to enlightenment? I tell them, I am constantly blessing. Only you are not interested in receiving. See, when I express all these ideas, this is the blessing. This is the blessing. And this is what? It's the truth. People ask me, Swamiji, why don't you find out from God that when will I become enlightened? God says, always become enlightened this moment. Become enlightened this moment. But we only say, we are going continuously postponing. That's a beautiful story. Somebody goes to Ramana Maharshi and says, Bhagavan, actually Bhagavan was walking, going around the hill. The person was walking behind him and asked Bhagavan, God is never blessing me, He never gives me grace. Bhagavan just smiles and says, one person was walking in the front also. He calls the guy. The guy turns back and says, actually the person who was walking in the front, he asked the question. He asked the question. One guy was walking in the front and Bhagavan was walking in the back. That guy was asking the question, Bhagavan, God never gives me his grace. I am never graced. I am never blessed. Bhagavan laughs and says, have you turned in and looked into him even once before complaining? He is not giving his grace to you. He is not looking at you. Turn and look in. Then you will understand whether his grace is there or not. So use these ideas, internalize, turn in. Then you will understand whether you have his grace or not. Otherwise, continuously asking, God is not gracing, putting the blame on everybody, or asking people, please find out from him, please find out from them. Okay, actually the other day one person asked me, Swamiji, please find out from Shiva, when will I become enlightened? I said, Shiva wanted you to become enlightened yesterday. Not even tomorrow. He wants you to become enlightened yesterday. By now you should have become. If you go on postponing, what can be done? I have a story for you. A golf nut met a great saint. On the way, he asked that saint, Your Holiness, I am crazy about golf. I play every day of the year. Every day of the year. But tell me, is there a golf course in heaven? That saint says, I am not sure. I will have to ask God. Few days later, the man bumped into the saint again. Any news from God about the golf course in heaven? He asked. The saint says, yes, I have a good news and bad news. This guy says, no, first give me the good news. He says, apparently there is a beautiful course in heaven with velvet smooth greens and lush fairways. This guy says, then what else can be the bad news? He says, bad news is you have a tea time for tomorrow morning. So don't be expecting, waiting for message from him. It is already delivered to you. Now the ball is in your court. You need to internalize. You need to experience. So the great ideas of Patanjali, the great truths of Patanjali be internalized by all of you. Let you all internalize these great truths of Patanjali. Let you all achieve and radiate. I bless you all. Let you all achieve and radiate the Jivan Mukti, living enlightenment. Let you all achieve and radiate the eternal bliss, Nithyananda. Thank you.
It's a wonderful video. Yes, it is a wonderful video from the Supreme Fount of Hinduism. He explained how the each and every time, even now while we are talking, Paramashiva want us to experience the enlightenment. So it is us, our mental patterns, that which we are struck. It is making us postponing each and every time. So all the truths which is given by Paramashiva, the Paramavatar of Paramashiva, is to internalize inside and get awakened inside. So that is why each and every time he is giving this rope to pull out of this all this matrix world. So it is us, the ball is in our court, as we mentioned, the Paramavatar of Paramashiva. So the ball is in our court to get enlightened. The next, moving on to the next year, 2012, on this day, Supreme Fount of Hinduism described his new pontifical appointment to his beloved devotees. The Supreme Fount of Hinduism has been named the 293rd Pontiff of Madurai Shamalapita Sarvanyapitam, the oldest Hindu monastic community in India, dating back at least 1500 years in the unbroken lineage of Pontiff. Madurai is in the far south of India in the state of Tamil Nadu and has a several vulnerable and ancient history as a leading culture center. Supreme Fount of Hinduism's own previous avataric incarnation was the legendary ruler of Madurai, Queen Meenakshi, whose life is currently being honored in the temple festival during the April. As Supreme Fount of Hinduism has explained, when I assumed this body I delivered a large chunk of biomemory from Devi Meenakshi. The way I strategize and make decisions which enable the establishment of Kailasa comes from Devi Meenakshi. The way I rule and administer through Kailasa is rooted in the few thousand years old, time tested, foolproof system. Devi Meenakshi gave a superconscious breakthrough to the planet by amalgamizing the Dravidian physic attribute of being huge and tall with the highly evolved intelligence of Kailasa and Tibet, creating a civilization of genetically modified superconscious muted beings. Later that day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism conducted the Inner Awakening Convention sessions for the delegates around the globe. So moving on to the next year, 2014, in this day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam, elaborated about how the whole of Kashi is gods and goddesses celebrating. It is like a miniature cosmos. The city is not built out of stone, pillars, poles, or construction materials. It is built out of all our intense, sincere, sacred sentiments. The city is older than the history itself, far older than the legends itself, and still most fascinating. Supreme Founder of Hinduism explained the place is Anandavana. Varanasi is called as Anandavana because it is a Mahadeva's quarter. This is where he lives. The first quarters he built for himself. The first city he developed for himself. After the marriage of Parvati, Mahadeva wants to stay with all the Ganas and Ganapati, Subramanya, and everyone, the large, beautiful community. So they all decided and choose this place, Varanasi, and settled down here. Then after that, only Ganga came and had a darshan of Mahadeva. Varanasi was older than Ganga. At the time, this place was called as the Ananda Ganda, Anandavana. Here, the same day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism has wonderful delivered a beautiful discourse saying how the Kashi is the Mahadeva's own city. So let's hear from the Supreme Founder of Hinduism.
नित्यानन्देश्वर समारम्भाम् नित्यानन्देश्वरि मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्. इस समय हमारे साथ उपस्थित सभी भक्तों, साधना टीवी and through two-way as Anandavana, because this is Mahadeva's quarters. This is where he lives. The first quarters he built for himself. The first city he developed for himself, Anandavana. All of you may be aware that for 26th inner awakening in Anandavana, Varanasi, "23rd ingenious." Let me be very honest. Whenever I come to Varanasi, I feel like an owner. That's the exact feeling. Like a king, owner. This is the place of Vishwanatha, Kala Bhairava, Nityam Advitiyam Ishta Daivatam Niranjanam. Kala Bhairava, the space of eternal Advaita, Advitiyam, Ishta Daivatam Niranjanam. This is Anandavana, this place. Whenever I land in this place, just Kundalini goes crazy. My Kundalini itself. And where it is, I don't know. It goes for. And the energy, the body radiates. So healthy it feels. The whole inner space and the. So literally the word Anandavana is true. That is why this place melts away all the karmas. Please understand. Yesterday evening, I can say late evening, we were all having night out with Ganga in a boat. We all went to be with Ganga. It was so nice. And we did the formal Kashi Yatra, which you are supposed to do from Asi to Varuna. That is called Kashi Pradakshina, means going round. All the IA participants, don't worry, you will also be doing that in next few days. And we were doing Rudrabhishekam. After the Rudrabhishekam, I myself performed Rudrabhishekam for the Shivalinga which is supposed to go to Seattle. The deity I energized and did the Rudrabhishekam. After the Rudrabhishekam, I told our Swami to put that flowers and milk into Ganga. I saw the moment he poured that flowers and milk into Ganga, some 30-40 bhutas holding that, only very little fell on the Ganga. These fellows were holding and running, sprinkling here, there, that milk and that flowers. I was wondering what these fellows are doing. They are all Ganga cleaners. They were all the conscious cleaners of Ganga. They serve Mahadeva, means Kalbhairava. They serve Kalbhairava, helping Kalbhairava to keep Ganga spiritually clean. There are few places where some of the worst sinners have taken bath. These fellows are taking that milk and sprinkling in all those ghats, those areas. Only in Varanasi, the Bhutas and Pretas have a right to enter into an enlightened master's energy field. Otherwise, they cannot enter my field. They will be liberated. The moment they enter my energy field, they will be liberated. But in Kashi, they serve Mahadeva, Kalbhairava. So they are all like Ishwara Kotis. Kalbhairava allowed them to be in that Sarira. So they never harm anybody. They only serve. It is such a. Bhutas and Pretas means the people who leave the body before the time they were supposed to leave the body. And in Kashi, these fellows get a special opportunity to serve Mahadeva, serve Kalbhairava, for keeping the place clean, like scavengers, and kicking out the unwanted fellows out of Varanasi. The fellows who are not qualified to be in Varanasi, they kick them out. And people who are supposed to be in Varanasi, they bring them here. It is like a cleaning and security job these Bhutas and Pretas do. In Varanasi, the whole Kashi is celebrating. Understand that. The whole Varanasi is celebrating. All the gods, goddesses, Shiva Ganas, Shiva Bhutas, Shiva Bhaktas, all of them are celebrating. I can only say, get ready to have the best spiritual blast. And anything else I say, you may think marketing, and I don't want you to have that cheap word marketing for Varanasi. I tell you, this is the most fascinating city in the world. Here, cows, bulls, dogs, beggars, dead bodies, snakes, all of us have to literally scratch each other while we walk, and that is the way we can survive. That's the only way we can survive. You will see the dead body cloth will be touching your body while you are walking. Bulls and cows, literally scratching them, their itching or irritation on you, you can see. And dogs, but none of them hurt each other. It is like a literal miniature cosmos. Miniature cosmos, none of them hurt each other. They all live together in such a small place, that main Varanasi. Main Varanasi is the place. They all live together. It's a tradition that bulls don't hurt here anybody. And the lizard will not make sound. The eagle will not fly on this Varanasi. And any flower you bring inside the Varanasi, it will not have smell. Any flower. Because all smell belongs to Kalbhairava. That's a tradition. Sometimes people think, the stupid fellows think, seeing my devotion to Kashi, all this, they think, he speaks so logically, all great principles like Advaita and all that. Why is he so irrational and superstitious about all this Kashi and this, that? I want to tell those stupid fellows, the real me is my love and devotion and belief and faith in all these, what you call as simple things. Touching every stone in every street corner in Vishwanatha temple in Kashi, and every day sprinkling Ganga, sitting with Ganga. I'll be more happy to do all this than anything else. I tell you, this is real Nithyananda.
Yes. This is a beautiful video. I think each one of us who are watching us live now maybe went back to all your inner awakening memories and enjoyed all those moments we experienced in the Varanasi, the Anandavana, the spiritual quarters of Mahadeva himself. Moving on to the next year, 30th April of 2015, on this day, the Supreme Fount of Hinduism, Nithyananda Paramashivam conducted the Inner Awakening Convention and Meenakshi Thirukalyanam in Adi Kailasa, Bengaluru Adinam. And Supreme Fount of Hinduism has previously shared that Meenakshi is the embodiment of the perfection and excellence in all the fields of life. Meenakshi awakens the leadership consciousness in us and bestows upon us all the leadership qualities and excellence. Worship of Devi Meenakshi awakens the power of intuition and makes us as a perfect strategy planner. Thereafter, the son, Lord Muruga Subramanya, is coronated to rule the cosmic empire in the name of Ukira Pandian. Moving on to the next year, 2016, on this day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism presided over the living Suddhadvaitam program. Convention happened in the Ujjain Adinam as part of the most auspicious and holiest event of Kumbh Mela. More than 5 crore 70 million people have visited the Mela and the Kailasa's nation's Ujjain campus. During this 1 month period, the multi-day Living Suddhadvaitam Convention was hosted in Kailasa's camp at the Ujjain Kumbh Mela. And like the rest, this day was filled with many celebrations, Nitya Kirtans, dancing, powerful energy darshan, enriching sessions, all part of the grand Living Suddhadvaita Convention. Additionally, free Annadana was served to all who came to visit the Kailasa's campus in Ujjain Kumbh Mela. On the topic of Annadana, it is worth mentioning that by the end of the Mela, the number of visitors that have passed from our campus were counted to almost 4 crore, all of which were provided with the free Annadana. Moving on to the next year, 2017, on this day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism conducted the Inner Awakening Convention and the online worldwide webinar titled Be Your Own Boss, Part 2. Supreme Founder of Hinduism beautifully defined inspiration as what for we run, why we want to wake up, and what drives us, whether it is our decision to inspire others or enrich others. If the decision to enrich others will be the source of inspiration, always successful. If it is inspire others, we will be slave forever. The Supreme Founder of Hinduism concluded that be your own boss worship, explaining that no solution is worth applying in life unless it resolves the very core of the problem. Later, Supreme Founder of Hinduism conducted the Sannyas initiation and continued with the Inner Awakening Convention sessions and darshans. So moving on to the next year, 2018, the Supreme Founder of Hinduism, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, conducted day 31 of the Ultimate Spiritual Mahasalashivam program. Supreme Founder of Hinduism pushed humanity to the next level and gave special initiation to all the delegates of the program. Supreme Founder of Hinduism, along with the many disciples and delegates, went on yatra to Ramanatha Swami temple and Dakshinakoti to worship the Navagragas. He also visited the Subramanya Swami temple where he offered a special puja. Supreme Founder of Hinduism also delivered a powerful discourse entitled Bhudevi, during which he stated that Mother Earth scans your body when you walk barefoot and documents what vitamins, nutrients are missing from your body for healthy life. She provides or adds this by producing fruits, vegetables, flowers, and trees happening in the area where you have walked. Around the world, several Shevas and temple gathering to enrich local communities and the world took place. See the video below. Announcements were made of upcoming videos, programs of Inner Awakening, Nithyananda Yoga Training, and Nithyananda Dhyana program, Yoga Nitya Kriya Kalpatra Yoga, and Akashic readings were shared with the global via in Nithyananda TV and social media platforms. Next, you'll be moving on to the next year after a short break. So we request each one of you to stay tuned. Nithyanandam.
Just be alive for next 3 years. Don't die within next 3 years. I guarantee you, I will reach you wherever you are. be alive, somehow be alive for next 3 years. I will reach you wherever you are, whichever corner of the world you may be. I will reach you with enlightenment. It's my commitment to humanity.
I'm going to empower, enlighten each and every one of you with the fuel and energy of the parallel universe. I'll infuse this intense supernal effulgence DNA, Tejas, Ojas, Kundalini Shakti into your spine to consciously lift you to Kailasa. It is irreversible permanent enlightenment, irreversible power manifestation, irreversible permanent empowerment. Greater signs of life can be realized with a greater ability to visualize. Greater science is the equivalent word for Hinduism. When you understand the greater science of life, greater courage, more possibility, more fearlessness, more joy, more bliss. When you visualize Paramashiva with 25 heads, 75 eyes, 50 hands, your consciousness becomes ferocious, and that ability to visualize, you will get involved in everything deeply. Involved people are the most delicious, most sweet, most beautiful, most juiciest beings of planet Earth. I am your Guru. I will make you enlightened. It's my commitment. Till you become Paramashiva, I won't rest. Don't worry at all. To all my disciples, I give you this as a boon. I'll swallow everything with which you are stuck and liberate you all. The moment you decide, your consciousness is the supreme identity you have. You will not empower your depression, your frustration, deal your problems, whether it is simple headache or depression, or the worst suicidal patterns, or life negativity, only through consciousness. Don't go for any other solution. Don't keep stupid, toxic, life negative struggles inside. Your consciousness as power at this moment to swallow, digest, clean up all negativity and all toxins. Develop a powerful will persistence. That's the most important asset for life. I am not giving you some life positive blah blah. I am giving you the facts of life. I am triggering your consciousness. Time itself is nothing but your decision to struggle with the same rut. Your
Yes, Nithyananda, welcome back. Now we'll be watching a short glimpses of the 30th April 2018.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda visited the Navapashana temple in Devipatinam, which was installed by Sri Ramachandra Prabhu to worship the Navagrahas, the deities responsible of the 9 planetary movements. Swamiji also visited the Arulmigu Subramanyam Swami temple in Tiruchendur, where he offered a special puja.
Mahadeva says, walk on the ground without shoes, without chappal. Bhuma Devi will take the body scan of you, and whatever vitamins, minerals, the important ingredients required for your body which you don't have, she will add it in the food which is growing in that area. So eat that food, that is medicine. Earth is not geography for us, it is biology. Bhuma Devi, conscious, alive. So when you walk on the earth without chappal, she scans your body and documents all the vitamins, minerals required for your body which you don't have for healthy life. And she adds them because she is conscious, she can produce anything by will. She adds them in the food, fruits, flowers, vegetables, trees happening in that area. Eat them, you will be healthy.
The Nithyananda Pitams and Jose Adinam celebrated the 10th day of the Chitra Brahmotsavam, conducted the marriage ceremony of Devi Meenakshi and Lord Sundareshwara. The Slovakian Sangha organized a trip into nature, giving them yet another opportunity to strengthen the oneness between them to raise the space of the local Sangha to the next level. The Nithyananda Sangha Toronto Adinam gathered to celebrate Chitra Purnami, along with other activities happening in the temple every Sunday. A large organic sattvic meal was prepared, enriching all with the recipes from the Bhaga Shastra, the authentic cookbook of Sadashiva.
I've been spending almost the past month living in this, trying to live as much as possible in the space of, oneness with Swamiji. Today when I came for the Kalpataru program, it sort of put a bow on top of the past 1 month of effort. I realized that the paradigm that I was starting with was not right, because I was constantly scolding myself all the time and saying, I'm always wrong and I'm even powerless and I need to look to some external authority to learn how to manifest powers or to be better than my current version. But today I had the cognition that it's only because I'm carrying this in my inner space, that I'm not actually powerful and I need to do something to become powerful, that I was not manifesting more powers. But once I changed that idea and realized that actually that's not true, that's just something that I was conditioned with, and the truth is that I am powerful, I felt a deep shift in my own emotions and my own energy, and I was able to do the consciousness over matter power manifestation as well, move the coconut, and it was a really, really beautiful experience, and I can't wait for the next program that I come for.
First thing about the Sampradaya, you belong to Shankara Sampradaya. You are now sitting in the seat of Jnana Sambandhar. I understand, Shankara himself belongs to Jnana Sambandhar Sampradaya. When he was singing Saundarya Lahari, he is describing Devi's body and Devi's beauty and glory. When he is describing the breast, he says, the breast which has created Jnana Sambandha by a drop of milk. Whenever I land in this place, just Kundalini goes crazy. My Kundalini itself. And where it is, I don't know. And the energy, the body radiates.
So healthy it feels. That is why this place melts away all the karmas.
सर्वं यदाप्नोति तत्त्वं परं ब्रह्म नित्यं तदेवाहमस्मि नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वं नित्यं मन्त्रं नित्यं यन्त्रं नित्यं तन्त्रं नित्यं सर्वम् दयालुं गुरुं ब्रह्मनिष्ठं
Dive into your depths. The innermost cognitions you have about you. Ability to speak to yourself, convince yourself is what I call tapas. Real tapas is ability to sit with your depth and make your depth listen to you.
Upcoming programs: Inner Awakening, 21 Days to Rewrite.
With that, we'll be moving on to the next year, that is April of 2020. On this day, the presidential address, the Supreme Founder of Hinduism, has expounded on the cosmic principles. Convert your obsessive, compulsive disorder to Isha Devata, inspired devotion. Supreme Founder of Hinduism shared that every Hindu should be initiated into Isha Devata, the cosmic beings, and be given mantra and visualization, and even mandala. Supreme Founder of Hinduism shared that by invoking any cosmic beings, one will manifest extraordinary energies and a higher level of life. The sixth day of Chitra Brahmotsavam was celebrated in Adi Kailasa and seven Peetams all across the globe, offering worship at the feet of Devi Meenakshi, Parashakti, and Somasundareshwara Paramashiva. Supreme Founder of Hinduism worked further on raising the consciousness of the delegates by bestowing them with the Muruga Bhava Samaya Darshan for the day and contributing to the over 108 humanitarian services, causes of Sri Kailasa in Indian nations. Kailasa's Nithyananda Hindu University marks today as a session 3, the day 10 of Paramashivoham Convention. One of the highlights of Kailasa's contribution through this convention is power manifestation, today being the power of Lahima. Moving on to the next year, 30th April of 2021. On this day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism, the ambassadors and delegates of Sri Kailasa nation received the Saktipada and Shakti Nipada with the live darshan of the Supreme Founder of Hinduism. On this day, Supreme Founder of Hinduism blessed all with the Parashakti Arulvak darshan, where all the ministers and ambassadors of Kailasa had the rare opportunity to ask for the healing, blessings, and answer to their life questions by Devi Parashakti herself. Many grand revelations were provided by Devi Parashakti during those sessions in regard to the future of the world, the reason of the coronavirus, and the Vedic remedies that were given to act as a protection against this global issue. On the day Devi Parashakti herself revealed, "I am Parashodasi," Meenakshi came assuming Nithyananda form. Parashodasi Meenakshi, Parameshwari Meenakshi, Parashakti Meenakshi. I happened here for all, to give enlightenment and true knowledge of the self. For bestowing all good, I myself came here. As Kailasa Swamini and living in Paramashiva's abode with my blessings, I flowered as Nithyananda's deity to do good to all of you, to teach what is good for Dharma, Artha, Kama, and Moksha. And to flower, I took the form of Nijavatar. So with that, we come to the end of this segment. And we have the wonderful Paramashivoham Level 3, which is going to happen on the June 1st to 21st of 2022. Now we'll all get ready to receive the alive darshan. Let's all come to the space of initiation and sit straight and close your eyes and chant the Mahavagya Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Now we'll be entering into your alive chant.
the auspicious program, the Kailasa Dharma Jyoti Religion and Worship Award Ceremony in celebration of the Global Conclave World Interfaith Harmony Week. I welcome all of you for this wonderful program. Today, we are recognizing the great services, contribution in the field of interfaith harmony of 10 prominent personalities, dignitaries from various religions from around the globe, from various religions, various faiths, traditions. 10 people are getting awarded. I congratulate all 10 of them for their great contribution in the field of interfaith harmony. We start with Grandmaster Fabio Venzi from Italy. Thank you for what you are doing. And thank you for who you are. Bishop Dalton J. Harding, Secretary of Calgary Interfaith Council, the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, Canada. Thank you. We sincerely thank you for who you are and what you are doing. Thank you, sir. Thank you for being who you are. Sister Uma Devanath, Brahmakumari's World Spiritual Organization, Trinidad Tobago. Thank you for who you are and thank you for doing what you are doing. Father Brian McWeeny, Director of Ecumenical and Interreligious Affairs for the Roman Catholic Archdiocese of New York, Catholic, United States. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Father Brian McWeeny. Thank you for being who you are and thank you for doing what you are doing. Reverend Hapin Im, President and Founder of Faith and Community Empowerment, Catholic, United States. Thank you, Reverend, for who you are and what you are doing. And Pandit Sunil Seetal Maharaj, Head and the Spiritual Leader of Ganeshotsava Foundation, Hindu, Trinidad Tobago. Thank you, Pandit Sunil Seetahal Maharaj Ji. Thank you for doing what you are doing, being who you are. Reverend Jambu Mullah A, Bishop of Christ Church, Nakasongolo, South Sudan. Thank you again for what you are doing and who you are. Dr. Murali Krishna Bhuvanagiri Sharma Ji, Founder and Head Priest of Sankaramatam Vedic Academy, North Carolina, United States. Thank you, Dr. Murali Bhuvanagiri Samraj Sharma Ji, for being who you are and doing what you are doing. When Datuk K. Sri Dhammaratna Ji from Malaysia, from Buddhist tradition. Thank you, Venerable Datuk K. Sri Dhammaratna Ji. Thank you for being who you are and thank you for doing what you are doing. Sri Raksh Joshi, Chairman for Jagran Society of Calgary, Alberta, Chairman for the Hindu Society of Beaumont, Alberta, Canada. Sri Raksh Joshi, thank you
for being who you are and doing what you are doing. I sincerely thank all of you for who you are and what you are doing. And I sincerely thank you all for accepting this Kailasa Dharma Jyoti Religion and Worship Award. Thank you, every one of you, for what you are doing to humanity and for interfaith harmony. Thank you for being who you are, and thank you for doing what you are doing. Paramashiva's message on this auspicious occasion, directly from Kailasa, religion is the science of consciousness and cosmos. It has two components, the pure science part and applied science part. All religions have pure science, like universal values, universal truths, time-tested, foolproof, universal truths. Pure science part and applied science. How we apply that pure science in our lives. Some religions may have more percentage of the pure science. Some may have less percentage, but all religions will have naturally the pure science, universal truths as their foundation, fundamental existence, their core component. If we all, religious leaders, spiritual leaders, if we all decide to focus more on the universal truths, pure science, and not have deep states influence in our applied science, not influence the deep state through our applied science, we will all transform the world in no time. We all religious leaders, leaders of faith organizations, religious organizations, religious influencers, spiritual leaders, if we all decide our applied science part, our organization, our faith infrastructure should neither influence the deep state nor get influenced by the deep state. And if we stop using fear and greed, any deep state strategies like a war, deep states desires to conquer a land, grab a country, being used as a tool for political advantage, if we all decide to keep ourselves away from it and focus on the pure science, we will transform the world in no time, I tell you. If we need to save the planet Earth for humanity, it is only religious leaders who can do, not by political leaders. Political leaders are going to care only about how long they can retain power. Political leaders will not bother about the world getting destroyed next day they get down from the power. That will be their agenda. Because only if the society and their nation collapses after they lose the power, they are going to go down in the history as the great leaders. See, after that great leader, the whole country collapsed. Every leader expects this statement to be written in the history, that after they stepped down, after they stopped ruling, the nation collapsed. So that the history will remember them as the great leaders. We should know it's only religious leaders who are going to feel for the humanity and planet Earth. It is we who care for the next generation. It is we who care for the world. If we all decide, even if it is little difficult, if we all come to the conclusion, it is time we won't allow the deep state's influence into our organization, and we will not allow our organization to influence the deep state. We will all transform the world in no time. And I tell you, we are all in a spot, in a situation where the religious harmony is not luxury, it's a survival need. It's a survival need. If we all just stick to our declared, publicly declared agenda, without letting the deep state to put their agendas into our organization, and we not putting our hidden agendas into the deep state, that's more than enough. I feel that's a solution. Not only we will be able to keep the interfaith harmony, we can keep the planet Earth safe and alive. We religious leaders, we people of faith, we people of book and God, we people who look up to the higher forces for our existence and the planet Earth's existence. It's we all care for the continuity of the humanity. Continuity of the humanity exists on planet Earth. Political leaders will focus only on their branding in the history. They are not going to be bothered about the safety of the planet Earth or the safety of the humanity. So I feel it's all of us need to be responsible, that we don't allow politicians' undeclared deep state agendas penetrating into our organizations. Some of our organizations' deep state agendas not influencing, using the deep state of the nations. All nations have deep state. Let's agree to this truth. Let's not hide. Let's not be in denial. All nations have their deep state. Means the undeclared agendas of the politicians executed by few influencers who are ready to do any illegal, dirty work. All countries have the network of deep state, which does undeclared, non-transparent activities. If we religious leaders all come together and decide, let's keep deep state away from us, neither we will benefit by the deep state agendas, nor we will allow the deep state to benefit using our organizations. That's all. I think 90% of the problem among the religions, among the faiths will be solved if we just keep deep state people away. All of us religious people, by our very core, by our very nature, we love peace. All of us who are here, all of us want our library books to be straight. Some of us may not even want to change the location of the book. We all want, after our breakfast, we should be able to pick up the book which we want from our book library cupboard and spend time with our books, contemplate, meditate, do our personal spiritual practice, support our congregation to strengthen their conscious being. We all want this. Fundamentally, we are all peace lovers. That is why we chose religion. We chose faith as our lifestyle, as our full-time life. Not just career, as our living, as our life. We all chose. So it is we all who need to decide to keep planet Earth alive, peaceful for our next generation. For our next generation. My humble request to all the influencers in the field of religion and faith, it's of various religious organizations. My humble request, let's keep the deep state influencers and their agendas away from our organization. Let's make this one resolution. Fundamentally, Deep state wants to use religion to expand their territories, to consolidate their influence over the common mass, control and manipulate the common mass.